Now we're going to cover the anchor drill for maximal velocity or top speed. And what we're going to revolve around is leg recovery and force application. Now that the athlete has reached top speed, now the body has erected itself, and now there's only a slight forward lean that takes place. There's still center of gravity management that's going on. If the athlete wasn't slightly leaning forward, they wouldn't be able to run forward in the first place. So remember that no matter what, there's still got to be a 2 to 4 degree lean forward even at maximal velocity. During maximal velocity, now force application is explosive, but stride frequency is much faster. So what happens now is the ground contact time is shorter and frequency gets greater. So this becomes more of a neuromuscular event than a strength and power event like acceleration. So the most important way that we can change maximal velocity is to change recovery mechanics and force application. So this next set of anchor drills that we're going to go over are critical to teach your athletes the proper techniques and concepts behind maximal velocity. So Bill, right now, what we're going to start off with, we are going to start off with leg recovery. I think it's one of the simplest ways to improve speed, and it's a motor program that most people do not have. So hence, you've got to practice this stuff over and over all year long. So one of the common mistakes that I see when people practice leg recovery is that they don't even start the foot in the right position where recovery begins. As we've seen on the assessment videos, the leg, Bill is actually going to slide his foot back now. This is where the foot is going to start recovering from. You have to picture in slow motion that Bill's body has now passed over the foot, and that is when leg recovery takes place. So we are not going to do leg recovery drills from the foot being right under us because it's improper technique. Now you can see that the lower abdominals, the quadriceps, the hip flexors, now they've been put on eccentric stress. That's when the leg is going to fire back through. What Bill is going to do now, the recovery mechanics change from acceleration to top speed. He's going to think about a string being tied around his big toe, pulling that foot up. And as it pulls it up, his knee and his hip are all going to flex forward. I want that heel to actually come up and almost kick himself in the pants as his foot fires back through. As his foot fires through, the shin should almost be parallel with the ground and then fire back through to this position. So I can almost cue Bill with my hand right here to get his knee up here so I make sure I get the right hip flexion angle. And then when he's ready to recover, I say, go. Awesome. Now right there, toe is pulled up. Big mistakes. What I don't want to see is I don't want Bill to be able to see his toe beyond his knee. If he does, and this is a common mistake, what ends up happening is now the hamstring is overstretched, and when that hamstring then comes back down into the ground, that's when people can experience pulls. Remember, now top speed is about the pull. That's why when you see hamstring pulls, they don't take place in the first 5 yards of a sprint. They take place further down when the guy is now pulling back, ripping with that hamstring. So what I'm trying to show here is that leg recovery is not only important for force application and also for speed, it is very important for injury prevention. So again, Bill is going to recover the leg and up, nice, back down, and up, back down, and up. Now, from this position, we're going to talk about the next stage. Now we feel our athletes have recovery down, and this could take a long time with your athletes, by the way. Now that he's got leg recovery down, now we're going to talk about force application. Now, I want Bill to picture that this thigh right here is all that exists of his leg, and this lower portion is just loose and just hanging there. Now, thinking with just his knee, he's going to press his knee down, which unlocks the leg because it's loose, and his foot is going to hit back into the ground, scraping or pulling back. And go. Nice. And then slide back. Go. Now slide back and then recover. And go. Nice. So do you see how that leg is unlocking? Common mistakes would be that the athlete kicks the leg out too far. That's when you pull back and you can injure yourself. Quick note on that, there are a few drills that I see take place that sometimes are hard to teach and can injure your athletes. The classic B skips where the athlete is kicking the leg all the way forward and then ripping back. You're putting a tremendous stress on your athletes right there, and it's not a drill that they utilize in sports. So you're teaching a technique that's sometimes hard to learn, but it's teaching a mechanic that now might not be something or used the way that the athlete uses it in sport. Another one when we talk about recovery is, I see the classic butt kicker drills where the athletes kick the heels back, or even worse, where they're kicking the feet out to the side and hitting their heels. what that's doing is teaching improper mechanics of the hamstring, and you're not coordinating the flexion at the hip, the knee, and the ankle that need to take place to be fast. So I really want you to ask yourselves, coaches, where do you get your drills from and why are you doing them? Because when you start to see certain drills that you're doing, they may not be not only the best things to teach technique, but they could be setting up a potential injury. So this is where we take things to the next level. That's why this is the ultimate speed DVD, is it's to start to question, what am I doing, why am I doing it, and when should I be doing it? Which is why we're starting right now. So putting it all together on the anchor drill. Now, let's say, after weeks, maybe even months of practice, now we've got recovery down, we've got force application down, so now we can put it all together in one motion. So Bill can recover the leg to here. Now he's starting here. Now he's gonna drive force application and recover all at one time. And go, and go, and go. Nice. So right there, you can put the leg down. Bill is practicing all the pieces as one. Now again, this is to teach mechanics, guys. Is the foot gonna slide on the ground like that and produce force like that? No, the foot is gonna hit and drive the body forward. So I want everybody to still understand that there are limitations to these drills, that they're used for technique and conceptual mastery. So very important that we understand this and that the athletes understand why we're doing it. This is not just a drill to just move the feet around. This is a drill to really get them to understand, hey, at maximal velocity, we need to know how to recover the leg, and here's how we do it. We need to know how to apply force into the ground, here's how we do it. And then we need to put all that together so that when we run at maximal velocity, we can start accessing some of these techniques. So again, the anchor drill for top speed is the recovery and force application mechanics. I think it's very important. I think it's something that every athlete needs to know, and it's something that every athlete should be working on if they want to take their game to the next level.